Hello and welcome to Cooking with Miss Brenda. I'm so glad you joined me today. Unfortunately, our child guest that is, we always have a child with me on the program, needed to cancel at the last minute. So she couldn't be with us today. And so I am going to just spend this time with you. And what we are going to fix today is Greek Pomodoro Fettuccine. And let me just read the recipe. Now, you don't have to write this down. If you go to kidsclubforjesus.org, all of our recipes are there. And in fact, I want to invite you to make those recipes and send a picture of you holding the finished product, and we'll add it to our website of all of our recipes. So I'd love for you to do that. Melissa, thank you. She just gave me my iPad back so I can welcome. So we have Micah and Michaela. Thank you so much for joining us from Long Beach, California. My mom is watching. Hi, Mama. Carolyn Walker from Fossil, Wisconsin. Did you know, Carolyn, that I used to live in Wisconsin? Let's see. Rebecca Powers is watching. And thank you, Becca. Thank you so much for helping us. We needed a special video. I put a notice on Facebook about needing a special video we're producing more of my Miss Brenda bedtime story videos where I'm reading the story, but we add a lot of B-roll so that you see what we're talking about, what I'm reading. And we needed a specific video of a child gathering eggs from a hen house. And Becca talked to her mom, and voila, she gave us the perfect shot. So thank you so much, Becca. I tell you what, next time I see you, because Becca is close friends with my grandson, Michael. So next time you come over here, it's, you name it, I'll cook you something special, okay? You've earned that. Let's see. Oh, Chris. Hello, Chris. Thank you for joining us from Nashville, Tennessee. And Randy Phipps, my wonderful prayer partner. Thank you, Randy, for joining. And let's see, William Purdy is joining today. No kid today, William. I was just saying they called in at the last second and something came up and they couldn't be here. And so I don't want to share because it's private. But, you know, you're stuck with me today. So you're going to love this dish, though. It is absolutely amazing. And guess what? Since I'm pitching this alone, Melissa has agreed to come on and be a taster at the end of the program. So everyone's going to get to say, hey, Melissa, you know, so you'll get to see, because she's normally never in front of the camera. So I can feel my skillet getting hot, so I need to get this out to you quickly. So let me just read the recipe for Greek Pomodoro Fettuccine, all right? For this, you will need 1 medium onion, minced fine, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 3 cloves of fresh garlic, 2 cups of diced canned tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, 1 cup of vegetable broth, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried parsley, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of McKay's chicken style seasoning, and salt to taste. You will also need 5 cups of fresh spinach, 1 cup of sliced black or green olives, 1 cup of grape tomatoes, and 1/2 pound of uncooked fettuccine. And so that's all you're going to need for this. I don't need this recipe anymore, so I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to see if we can welcome anybody else here. All right, so thank you. I'm glad you saw that, Becca. I will definitely make it up to you. And your mom took the perfect shot. She really did. So I'm really thankful that you joined us. Okay, so if you have any questions, and Melissa, if I miss anybody, you let me know, okay? If I miss anybody. But for this, we're going to just start. We're going to saute the onions. Now, I like to saute my onions until they are really clear, and they will be translucent. So when they get to be translucent, that's when you know they're ready. So we're just going to go and add those to the dish right here. I told you that was getting hot, right? Can you hear that sizzle? Okay, so we got that over there. And I've just put a little olive oil, just a tablespoon of olive oil. I don't like a lot, but a little is good. And I use the olive oil because it really helps flavor the dish a lot. So, Melissa, is this good? Okay. And I want to invite all of you to join, to go to YouTube, and we have Melissa and I are posting a brand new podcast every single Monday. There's a new one that we post. We actually record it on Wednesday mornings, so you have time to put your questions in. So you can go and look at any of our podcasts and then send us questions that you might want us to talk about. If there's something you're wanting to know or you have a question about whatever, we answer your questions. So that's the place to submit your questions. And every week we choose somebody that for whoever has what we think of, as we judge between the two of us, what we think was the best question, and we send you a free gift. So every week somebody is going to get a free gift. And let's see. So now you can see I'm just stirring those. And we just want to get those to where they're tender. I've never really liked a raw onion. I love them cooked, but I do not like them raw. I don't like the taste of a raw onion. I know some people say, oh, they have to have, they can't have a veggie hot dog without some raw onions or, not for me. I can't do that. A lot of people with Mexican food will say, oh, I want some raw onions in my salsa. Not me. I got to cook those things first. So they're starting. Can you see them change just a little bit of color? Whew! That's getting all that onion smell right over there. Let me just send it your way. And it does smell really good. I love the smell of onions cooking. Don't you? I mean, it's such a great smell. While they're cooking, let me see. Oh, Pamela Morgan. Hello, Pamela from Jamaica. And so I'm glad you joined us. William wants to know if there's going to be a kid next week. Yes, I have a little girl coming, not the same one, but I have another little girl that's coming tomorrow, and she's so excited to be here with us next week. So not tomorrow, but next week. So yes, there is somebody coming for next week, and Pamela says, "Good evening, everyone." And Chris says you love the podcast. Thank you, Chris, for saying that. Well. Sometimes we just have a little too much fun, but we did do a lot of laughing this morning, and we have a good time on that. Plus, Melissa brought something out that it really gives us a chance to reminisce about so many wonderful miracle stories actually that have happened throughout the years of working together on Kids Time program or in other parts of ministry. That it gives us another chance to reflect back on that and thank Jesus for it. Just it's wonderful to just remember how good God is, how faithful He is. And let's see. Oh, Richard. Hello, Richard. Richard's joining us, and he says hi to everyone and hope that we are well. He really likes pastas dishes, so he can't wait to try it. And he says he does love onions in his food, but only when they're fully cooked, as the raw onions defeat the dish. I could not agree with you more, Richard. I absolutely couldn't agree with you more. And by the way, Richard, we had to end our praise and worship last Sabbath too early, but I did see your song request, and we're going to play it for you this coming Sabbath, okay? So don't think I forgot you. I'm trying to keep our praise and worships to 1 hour. I'm trying really hard to do that. It's hard on singers' voices to actually sing straight for an hour, much less, an hour and a half. So that's what happened. So I'm trying to do that. So everybody that wants to join us for praise and worship every Sabbath, get your song request in before 6:15. That's the cutoff time. So before 6:15, and you'll have your song request in, because we cut the song request in, but we keep playing any request that's been in but prior to 6:15. While you're writing in your prayer request. We have that time just to give you the time to write in your prayer request. And then all those prayer requests are sent to our prayer warriors so that people around the world be praying for your prayer requests every single day. And it's really a powerful thing to be praying for each other, isn't it? So these are starting to look really good. I just want them a little bit more. And it's getting there. And now I'm going to put my spices, because when you heat spices, it makes them more fragrant. It brings that out. So I'm going to right now just put my garlic in there. And of course, you know how much I love my garlic press. I'm going to put that in here. And oops, there we go. And I'm going to put that, and I just take this one off. Put that in there. And do the next one. This makes it so easy. for those of you who are watching for the first time, I actually found this when I was in Germany with my good friend Gerda von Mauer, who took me to a store, and we found this garlic press in Frankfurt, Germany. Oh, I love one. I bought this thing for so many of my friends. I just love it. So, okay, so we'll put that in there. And then I'm going to just heat up this garlic, and you can just smell that smelling so good. Now, my mom doesn't like garlic, but Mom, you wouldn't notice in this dish, I promise. It's so blended. So now I'm going to add some of my seasonings in here, and get them kind of fragrant as well. To pass those along in there. And then I'm going to add some of my mama's home canned tomatoes. And I tell you, you just can't beat my mom's home canned tomatoes. They are amazing. And I used to do all my canning for tomatoes every year. In fact, when I lived in Bolton, Massachusetts, they always have a fair every year called the Bolton Fair. And I won the blue ribbon at the Bolton Fair every year in a row for 13 years. I really loved canning. But when I went to full-time ministry, there just simply wasn't the time to do my own canning. And my mom has graciously canned me tomatoes every year that I couldn't. And my mom's like an expert canner. So let's go here. So, ooh, doesn't that look good? And there's something about canned tomatoes. They're just, you just can't beat it. It's just so good. I'm going to add a cup of water because that's my cup of broth. Because what I'm using for my broth is this. I'm going to put it like this. Is that good, Melissa? If you can see. It's better than bouillon vegetable base. Like this. Is that good?
I got a little bit of a
like this?
shine, but
How about like this?
yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm just going to take a teaspoon of this because if you normally use a teaspoon for 1 cup of broth. So I just put 1 cup of water in, knowing I'm going to add this for that 1 cup of broth. And so let me just put this in here and stir that around. This is my favorite vegetable broth. It has such a good flavor, and I think of all the ones I've tried, this is my favorite. The Better Than Bouillon products are just amazing. They have Better Than Bouillon chicken seasoning. They call it no chicken seasoning, and they also have the no beef seasoning. They have mushroom. I mean, so many flavors, and I use them all. I love them. Okay, so now we have that in there. I'm going to add my basil and my parsley right here, and my McKay's chicken style seasoning right here. And that's going to be our salt and a little bit of oregano. Okay, and we're going to stir that up in there really good.
Can you use fresh herbs?
You can use fresh herbs. Melissa was asking me if you can use fresh herbs, and yes, you can. In fact, the parsley and the basil today is fresh chopped herbs. And I couldn't find any of the fresh oregano, so I used the dried for that. But yeah, you can use fresh or dried.
The same amount?
And the same amounts. Yep, use the same amounts. Now we're just going to let this simmer for just a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to add some lemon juice. Melissa and I have this joke about lemon juice. We always say, if it needs a little something, try lemon juice. Because you'd be surprised how many recipes just really, the lemon juice like makes it pop. And we're like, yeah, that's what that needed. You know, so doesn't that look good? Now, I'm going to get this simmering really good. And we're ready to add 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now, the reason I add a teaspoon of sugar is because anytime you have tomatoes, if you want to cut down on the acidic, taste, you just put a little bit of sugar in there, and that cuts that down for you really nice. Okay, so we put this right here. It's already looking good, isn't it? Okay, now we're going to add our 5 cups of spinach, and you can see this looks like a lot, but spinach just wilts down to nothing. So it looks like it's a lot, but it really isn't. So I'm going to add just a little bit at a time, and we'll see if we can't just fold that in. and watch that just wilt right down. And then we'll add a little more. It just kind of just disintegrates into nothing. But spinach is so healthy for you. It's one of those vegetables that has a lot of nutrients and just so healthy for you. I make a spinach mushroom soup that's really good, and also spinach mushroom filling for crepes. Ooh, so good. So there's lots of ways you can get your spinach in and your, vitamins from our vegetables. Okay, we'll see how that's just being absorbed there right now. Look at how that's just sinking right down in there. And so now I'm just going to add a little bit more and let that do the same. And let's put some more in here. Now I did snap off, you don't have to, but I snapped off some of the stems just because I don't particularly like them as much. And I always use the baby spinach. I like the baby spinach, it's more tender. And so, and again, it's not critical that you do what I do, but it's not my favorite thing, so, why not? That's what I say. But you don't have to. It's totally up to you. It's not going to make it taste bad if it doesn't. Let's see who else is, so we have Vazzy Tori. Looks amazing. Can't wait to try it. Which one is Mary Guy's watching from Northern Michigan? And Crystal Garver. Hello, Krista. Crystal and Liliana and Audrey. Little Catherine's napping. Oh, you'll have to show her. She said, yes, I'm missing my assistant. If you joined us late, she had to cancel at the very last minute, 15 minutes before we're going live. We were like, okay, we're only going to need one microphone. So, but, sometimes those things happen, and you just can't be helped. That's what happens in this journey of life, right? Some things happen. When I watch this, can you see this, Melissa? Is this showing how it's just dissolving? Look at that wilting spinach, just wilting right there. And we're going to let that simmer for a couple minutes here before we add the rest of our ingredients, because we want this to get all that spinach to get really nice and tender. And so it just needs another couple of minutes, and you'll see that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Carolyn, thank you. So let's see here we have. So Richard says, praise and worship is the highlight of your Sabbath evening. And the singers and the piano accompaniment really bless your heart. Oh, Richard, thank you for sharing that. I had the privilege, folks, of meeting Richard when I went to Barbados. And so Richard has a really deep love for Jesus. And I just want you to know that Jesus loves you, Richard, and I do too. And so let's put this right here. And I'm so thankful that you like praise and worship. We have a wonderful time on Sabbath. If you've never joined us for praise and worship, of just really singing songs and praising Him. Most of the songs are coming out of the hymnal, not all of them, but some of them. And you can follow along and sing with us. This coming Sabbath, we have some familiar faces coming back. We have Adisa Abiosi, Larry Blackman, Lyndon Blackman, and also Sherry Bryant. So our trio is going to be back with us this week. So I've gotten so I love all of them, and we're continually adding new faces as well. So if you have musical talent and you want to be on our program, or you know somebody that you think, oh, they should be on the program, let me know, okay? And we'll get them booked. Right now I'm booking spots in December, so we're pretty full right now, but really praising God for how He is blessing us with so much musical talent. Let's see here. Thank you, Carolyn. She says I'm doing a good job. And let's see. Oh, and Chris says she likes praise and worship too. And we have Yvonne is joining us from upstate New York. Thank you, Yvonne, for joining us. And you guys are really going to love this recipe. Now, this is about ready now for us to add our noodles, our pasta. And I've already pre-cooked them. So I'm just going to add them to this dish like that. And you want to cook it al dente. But some people like their pasta mushy. Go ahead, if that's the way you like your pasta. You cook it according to package directions, or how you like it to be, since everybody's different. So I have people that say, oh, I don't like al dente pasta. Mine has to be more done. It has to be really, I don't like the chew. You know, you'll be surprised what you hear. So, and that's okay. God made us all different. He gave us so many different taste buds, and I'm a firm believer that, you know, there's so many wonderful things for us to eat that everybody should be able to enjoy what they're eating, right? So, okay, look at this. Does that not look good?
You know what also would be good there?
What would be good?
Mushrooms.
So Melissa's saying, you know what would also be in here is mushrooms. Yes, I love mushrooms in this dish too, but because the little girl that I was going to have on the program today, I wasn't sure if she liked mushrooms, so I left it out of the recipe. But honestly, you could put that as a side note that mushrooms in here are amazing. Okay, you really like those. And let's see here. And Pamela says it looks yummy. And it is yummy, Pamela. I wish I could just give you all some right now. That you could all be my tasters. I'd love that. Okay. So, okay. By the way, I'm working on a cookbook called Cooking with Miss Brenda. And so we're going to put all of our recipes in a cookbook for you guys. And, okay, so let's see. Doesn't that look amazing? That's getting all nice and hot. And the pasta's cooked perfectly. So Melissa's laughing at me because she gets tickled when I start to say something that comes out wrong. Hey, you know what? I am human, and I don't mind anybody knowing it. You know, I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. That's for sure. Okay, so now the last minute, you have a choice to make. You can choose to add, because we're going to add our sliced tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, but you don't want to add them until right before serving, because at this point we can actually turn the heat off, which I'm going to do, because we don't need to cook it anymore. And you can choose black olives right here, or you can choose green olives. And since green olives is my favorite and green olives is Melissa's favorite, we're going to put green in today. And these green ones actually have a little jalapeno inside, which makes them even more yummy. And you can put as many or as less as you want, or leave them out altogether. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. And then the last second, you add the grape tomatoes. And we don't want them to cook because this is already cooked. It's just for that little fresh taste that just gives it such a... And doesn't the color look wonderful? Look how that pops. And I'm going to just put one in a dish right here. And let me put this over here. And I'm going to put some in here for Melissa. It's a huge bowl, but it's a flat bowl, so I was thinking maybe people could see it more. I'm going to give you just a little bit of the sauce as well, because that's so yummy. Okay, so Melissa, drum roll please. Woohoo! Here she goes. Here comes Melissa. Thank you. I've been wanting to get her on this program for a long time. So it took somebody having to cancel us at the last minute for her to feel sorry for me, right? To come out.
I'm on the camera all the time now.
Yes, you are. Melissa's with me on every podcast. And if you really want to learn who Melissa is and get a sense of her personality, you should watch our podcast, because she's hilarious. And she also gives a lot of behind the scenes scoops, you know, of our ministry.
Well, actually, I encourage you to give behind the scenes scoops, because, you know, it's your story. Sometimes
it's our story.
I know, but
you know,
like, you should tell that story. You know, that one.
Yes, yeah, she'll like, oh no, not that story, and then I'm committed. I got to tell the story, you know. So now
I'm so glad that I get to try the pasta, which is, you know, can be difficult to eat.
Yes, yeah. I didn't think about that. Well, that's right. We want to see her just slurp it right up. Don't we? Just like,
here. All right.
You know.
Is it really hot? I'm nervous.
Yeah, it is hot.
Brenda normally serves her stuff like super hot, like out of the mouth of the dragon type thing.
Yeah,
so
she.
I've burnt myself.
Tell her what you call me, that I'm part.
Oh, I tease her and say she's of dragon ancestry, because she has the mouth of steel. She can eat anything like hot right out, like it can be boiling in the pot, and she'll just like, and I'm like, can you taste anything?
And Melissa's over there just waiting and
like,
waiting
I'm
and waiting.
blowing
I'm
on
like, my dish is already gone, and she's
still
she,
blowing. I'm like, can I have an ice cube?
I'm like, no, ice cubes dilutes the flavor.
All right, here we go.
You know, so.
It's very good.
Can you just give me the thumbs up? What do you say?
No, I don't have any thumbs. Well, here you
go.
Put down my fork. It's very good.
So would
You
you
should try
encourage?
this at home.
Yeah, encourage him to make that. And you saw how easy it is. It's
Not
like
with those
nothing to
nasty
it.
black olives, though. Only green.
She does not like. I like them both. I like black and green, but since Melissa didn't and she agreed to be my taster, I agreed to leave them out. You know, but they are good with the black olives too.
Yeah, and everybody can get a preview of the shirt that I wore for the podcast
Oh,
this week.
yes, because we record our podcast on Wednesday morning.
Usually
So
it's a secret. But
yeah, so make sure any questions you give us, make sure they come in by Tuesday night because Wednesday morning we actually recorded a podcast.
Yes.
And she wore this shirt. She is known for her T-shirts, the different T-shirts that she wears on every podcast.
Just so you know, as a full-grown, mature woman, I don't normally walk around in, squirrel shirts. But today is a special day.
Yeah. and I think, she had to make a trip to the post office or the UPS, and she's walking in with her T-shirt feeling all self-conscious.
I was, because I don't normally wear T-shirts. It's
Yeah.
not something I do. So people that watch the podcast are like, probably think that I walk around in these funky T-shirts.
Well, you
all the time.
normally wear them at night to go to bed or whatever, or lounge
they're
away.
shirts with my pajamas, but
Yeah.
not for everyday wearing. So, but the sacrifices you make, right?
Yeah, the sacrifices.
Yeah.
Well, it take one for the team. Let's see who else we have
Right.
here.
Am I relieved?
Well, I don't know. Do we want to make her sure she eats all of her make sure it was just.
You
just
can
not
watch
a
me
food.
from over there.
Yeah, no, we can't. But anyway,
Well,
thanks.
you can.
Thank you. Oh, Lois Somerville. Behind every great star is Melissa. Oh, Lois. Lois was my roomie in Georgia Coleman Academy. We had such a good time together, and it was Lois's birthday this week. So, Lois, you'll want to watch Praise and Worship this week because I will be singing Happy Birthday to you, okay? And then, let's see. Crystal Garver says, I bet Kalamata olives would be delicious too. Ooh. That's good. And my mom said she'd use both olives. Mom, I think that's a good idea. And I would too, except that I want Melissa to eat it. So, but yeah. And Lewis said she loves pasta dishes. Yeah, this is a really healthy, fast, easy one to do. Let me see if and Pamela says it looks yummy. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. If you have any questions at all about the dish, go ahead and let me know. Right now or afterwards, if you even put it on there, I will, catch those comments. And Melissa's saying something right now. What should you do?
We should add a cayenne or red pepper flakes to that.
Oh, you know what? She's right. One of the things that we do when we eat this is that we add cayenne and red pepper flakes. And I like it so much that I have it in this cute little jar. Isn't this an adorable jar? Look at this. Can you see that? She's over there eating her pasta, trying to push the button so you can see. Did you see that, Melissa? Melissa's Aunt Kendra got me this little thing, and it's got a little bird. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a little bird right here on the little spoon. And this is like about a teaspoon, and I'm going to put it in the saucy part first. Should we put a little more than that, Melissa?
Sure.
Okay, so there too. And but we like things a little bit spicy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mix this up in here first and then toss it around. And oh, that's really good. That is the icing on the cake right there, folks. That's what I'm saying. Woo! That's so good. Well, that's all there is to it. I'm glad you joined us today. It's always a lot of fun to be with you. You can watch all of our podcasts on my Brenda Walsh Ministries YouTube channel. Please go there and hit subscribe. Every time I post something new, you'll be notified, and you will help us get more subscribers to our ministry and spread the word. I would appreciate it. Also, I would ask that you prayerfully consider what God would have you do to support our ministry, Kids Club for Jesus, Studio and Leadership Center. We've uploaded now more than 1,200 programs, all Christ-centered programs. really designed to bring kids closer to Jesus, to help kids want to be more like Jesus, and to help kids want to share Jesus. So if you'd like to help support our ministry, just prayerfully consider what God would have you do, and keep us in prayers. I can tell you, I can feel those prayers, and they really mean a lot to me. And I thank you so very much. I want to thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next week at 5:30 Eastern Time here on Kids Club for Jesus Studio and Leadership Center at on Facebook, as well as YouTube. We're always on YouTube Live now. And also, please join us on Sabbath at 5:30 on YouTube or Facebook, Brenda Walsh Ministries, for praise and worship. God bless you, everybody. Stay close to Jesus. Remember, it's your time to share Jesus. Bye-bye, everybody.